we told you guys we were gonna do an unboxing on camera. Except I think it was for the light kit that we haven't bought yet. But because you gave us permission, we bought a different tool, so we'll just kind of like use up our little like unboxing ticket on that.
First, I need to ask our audience for a favor before we get to this. I have some sad news. My pocket knife is down there under 22 yards of drain rock. So, the day has come that I need to replace my pocket knife. So, I want to know, what's your favorite pocket knife? It's got to be small, like maybe 3-inch blade or less. It's got to be one finger operation, none of this like Boy Scout Swiss Army knife business. And it's got to be light and compact.
And it has to be something you've personally used. It can't be like, oh, so-and-so uses this, so that's the best one.
None of this, oh, you know what I saw on another YouTube channel that's the best knife in history? So no, seriously, it's time for me to get a new pocket knife, and I want it to be a good one. So I'm counting on you guys to give me a hand, and then I'll maybe down the road unbox it. Back to business. So recently we had concrete help, and I'm trying to get not getting ahead of myself. First of all, let me back up. We have to install 38 of these, but the longer ones, these are only 6 inches.
Hold that baby up here, like really close.
These are a concrete lag screw. We're going to be using a Simpson product, but some people might know these as Tapcons. And these are what will hold the sill plates that will hold our timber frame and our floor to the foundation or the concrete. But we've got to drill a hole to put that guy in. And if you've been watching our videos, you would know that I had a heck of a time drilling this big of a hole in our footings to anchor the plates for our ICF bracing system.
Never gonna get there.
The solution, which I don't think we mentioned in any of our videos, was to upgrade the bits. We used a bit that came with the Tapcon screws that we bought, and it was horrible. I think these are a Milwaukee bit. Fan-freaking-tastic. I'm pretty sure I bought like 10 of them, and I used one, and I drilled every single hole I needed.
Very good, very good.
When I was about ready to start drilling, I thought, dang, I wish we had a hammer drill. And then I looked at our drill, and I'm like, hey, it has a hammer setting. See the hammer?
Yep.
So the difference is, instead of a smooth rotation like this, it has a slight percussion to it. I'll just say that. It feels like a ratcheting sound. And it works, but it's still pretty hard to get this little bit in there. And I forgot to tell Alyssa that this is the bit that we have to use.
Why do my teeth hurt when I look at that?
Yes, the good news of this whole entire story is that our friends who came from Missouri, who are concrete people, got out their old tired hammer drill and said, check this out. They took a big piece of concrete and a bit this size and went, meow.
Like nothing.
And I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. And I had let them know that we had purchased this, but we hadn't had a chance to unbox it yet or use it yet. I'm sorry, this video may or may not be published before our beam pocket correction video, but we used a rotary hammer drill to drill the corners of our beam pocket out, and then we used a hot saw to slab into the wall, and out came, oh, I don't have Bricky. We saved Bricky. It's a little chunk of concrete with rebar going through it like this.
We'll show Bricky at the end.
Bricky will probably find its way into our house because it's one of those little memories that we made screwing up our house. Anyway, we are excited to have this tool because we have to drill way too many holes in our wall. So we thought we'd unbox it together. I think this was like 300 bucks. I don't remember. Like when you're buying or building a house, like you just spend so much money that it's all a blur.
People like to say like, oh, peer blah, blah, blah for life. So you know what, the peer spending for life, we can get on board that 100%. And because y'all are saying it anyways, that's just permission to spend more money in my book.
Let's own it. Let's own it.
So own it. Whatever you're gonna be a good one.
So this is a SDS Hammer Drill combo, and they also include, at no cost, a angle grinder, which I'm really excited about, and we'll talk about that later. So let's get that out of here because I can tell it's going to want to come out first. Makita does this a lot. I don't fully understand why. They're just trying to get like a little extra money. I don't know. I guess for somebody who needs one, it might be a good deal. It is a fixed speed from what I can tell. I don't see any way to change the RPMs on it, which sucks. But I am kind of happy to have this because the one that we have is a Porter cable, I think, and it's probably not the strongest grinder in the world. So this was just a perk for us. We didn't really care for the bonus or whatever. So they include a handle. That's how you know they mean business. I have to say that several times when we were drilling out the beam pocket, which is like 6.5 inches deep, you'd get down in there and hit a rock, and the drill go wow, and like almost hit you in the face. Yeah, so I can see why a handle would be helpful because when you're just drilling like this, it has so much torque that it'll like whip around and hit you.
Ooh.
Ooga booga.
It's been a long time since we've done a Makita unboxing.
Yeah, it has. The last one that we did was this set.
Yeah, and you guys should check it out. We love this thing.
We have beat the crap out of this. In fact, you know what? We need to send this in for service because second gear's broken. But that impact driver, good Lord, I don't even know how many boxes of screws we've put through that. So this, it matters what part number. This is HR2811F. I think this has the ability to do chisels too. I'm pretty confident because that's why we bought it. We wanted to be able to do both rotary hammer and then just hammers. We'll get to that later. I do like that Makita includes cases with their tools. We don't always put our tools in their cases, but it is nice when we can do that. So Makita's cases aren't really like, I would never say they're insanely strong, but I would say they're adequate. So there's a manual included, and I probably ought to read that just in case there's some super special. It says there's a blowout bulb. A blowout bulb. I doubt that's included. Sounds like something you have to buy, but it looks like a turkey baster. And you're supposed to stick it in the hole and blow all the concrete out. Boy, it's so shiny. Eric's tool looked like it had drilled many, many holes.
It did.
Yeah. Ooh, it's heavy too.
Ooh. Hold it up. That makes you look so manly.
I know. You know what we should use this for? During ice cream.
Tried to not encourage him to come over here, but he's gonna do it anyways, so. The unboxing kitty is here. Oh my goodness. You're a hippopotamus.
They include a adjustable handle, which is really helpful. This is what I was saying was missing on Eric's drill. Would have made a lot less of like death grip on you. There's a depth gauge included, which looks like something like this. Kind of looks like an Allen key, and it actually is positioned inside the adjustable handle. Something also Eric didn't have. We tried the old Sharpie marker trick, which works until you get about the first hole done, and then the Sharpie marker disappears off of the drill bit, then you suddenly cannot see. So you can set this to whatever depth you want it to stop, tighten it down, and you're good to go. So if you drill, that's where you stop. Pretty helpful, little gadgetry. I totally could see somebody just losing that. All these little like widgets and gadgets. So let's talk about some of the details. So a really critical piece for us in this purchase was to buy a rotary hammer drill. So this has 3 settings, and there's actually a 4th. So this setting is both a drill and a hammer. This is what we would use to drill the holes for these guys. So the chuck will turn, and you'll also get the percussion. If you move to drill, it's just like a drill. It just turns smoothly. And if you move to hammer, there's no turning. It just percussions, which is good for chipping out concrete, cleaning up food that's been on a dinner plate for a couple months. One other setting clear back here that allows you to turn the tool that you're hammering with to whatever setting you want, and then you can lock it into hammer. So if you need your chisel or whatever to be at an angle, you can do that. You don't have to turn the drill. to get to that angle. Also important is forward and reverse. So it's here by, I think, where your thumb would be. So a forward and reverse setting. We use that a lot. You get that concrete bit bound up on some rebar or something like that, and it's really helpful to flip it in reverse, back it out just a little bit, and get going again. I think that's the essentials. So this is a very unique chuck. It is what's called an SDS Plus chuck. It's a quick release chuck. So you pull back on the chuck, insert the bit, and release, and that locks the chuck in. A normal drill would have a quick change chuck, something like this. And is this annoying? Yes. So when you put the bit in, these are 3-sided bits, which is amazing. But even at that, when you put this on its percussion setting, the chuck wants to come loose, and then your bit comes loose, and pretty soon your bit's spinning inside the chuck, and it's just a train wreck. So that's why, part of why the SDS Chuck is it locks the bit in. And I'll show you kind of what that looks like on the bit side. Alrighty. So this is what's called an SDS Plus bit. Has a groove and then a notch on each side. And this drill is only compatible with these bits. I believe Makita does sell a quick change chuck for this drill, but it is not included. That's not how this bit or this drill is currently set up. So slide the chuck back, find the grooves where it slides in, and release.
My, that's a big bit you have.
That's a honker. Yeah. So we have to drill through 3.5 inches of plate, which is how thick our sill plates are, and then we have to drill somewhere around 8 inches into the concrete. So won't be needing the depth gauge, just go right to there. So this is also how the SDS bits work. There you can buy chisels and spikes or whatever you want to call them, all kinds of stuff. You can slide them in and you can go. This chuck is not unique to Makita. SDS Plus is a standardized bit. You should put the box down. It'll make him happy.
You think?
Yeah, because he wants to lay down. Look at his butt.
Oh, look, Dad said we should lay the box down like this. Like this. How's that? Is that better? Dad thinks you want to lick your butt. Is that true? Well, I could itch his face that way. Looks pretty cute in that box. Oh my goodness. Yep. So now it's time for a field trip.
Yeah, let's give it a test and see how it
Because no one
works
wants
out.
to like hear about the chocolate factory. They want to go see it. They want to go taste it.
Cha-cha-cha. So I think it's good for us to just do an apples to apples.
Yeah.
So this is all just kind of like excess that was either screeded off or came out underneath our apron form. So it's not, I don't know how thick it is and I don't know how strong it is, but it's concrete. I don't need to go very far to demonstrate
that was
that's
painful.
not going to work.
Oh. Do it again.
That was like nothing. And I went through, it looks probably about 3 inches thick.
You sweating?
It's just stupid how effective these freaking tools are.
I do have to say, if any of you are interested in power tools,
Yeah.
it's fourth quarter, almost,
Yeah.
at the time of posting this.
Lot of tool
There's
specials.
a lot of tool specials.
Yep.
We might link to like some below, but I know like Makita has sales on Amazon, DeWalt.
Usually
big names.
it's combos that you can get. You can get like, you know, 4 tools instead of 3, or 4 instead of 2. You still got to spend the money, but they usually start throwing in a bunch of like.
Unfortunately for us, we can't wait until Christmas, so.
Not on this one.
No.
But we definitely have our eye on a couple of other tools that we're gonna use a lot when we get into framing in the house and stuff. But so the general, I mean, this is not a fantastic example, sure. Like it's not an 8-inch thick. I'm not gonna go drilling our slab to make a point, but I think it's pretty self-evident when we try to drill through here. Well, so there's that, and it looks like I went like 3/4 of an inch. This is so effective that we used Eric's drill to clean up the beam pocket. So when we drilled the corners to kind of create some relief, pockets so we could hit it with a chisel, there was still these, like in the corners, there was still concrete. And it's so effective that we just took this with the drill bit and like shaped it. Like you can do whatever you want to the concrete. It's ridiculous. It's not even hard at all. You can just like, I want to remove like this little area right here. Not a big deal.
Cool. Sold.
Yeah, what's really cool is we hadn't even opened the stinking thing, and I got to use Eric's, and I'm like, dude, I got one. Yeah. Like we hadn't even gone to get, we'd already bought it already, so we weren't super confident. We've been told they're, good, but so obviously in drill mode, it's smooth. There's no hammer setting, just like a drill. And you can, I'm pretty sure that you can get SDS Bits in wood and a lot of other things, so it's not just concrete. And then in hammer only settings, you don't want to do this with bits. I'll tell you that much. Let's go over here. But there's no turning. It's just hammering. It's kind of like a jackhammer. So if you had a chisel and you wanted to just get all this off of here, you could take the chisel and go nah, and chisel all that stuff off. It was really frustrating spending the money on this tool because how often are we going to drill concrete? Hopefully never in a perfect world. Hopefully this time for the sill plates, and then maybe not again for a long time. But it'll be really nice to have the tool, because if we know people who need something drilled, we've got it. We've got the right tool. Huh. It's like we got like a cement worm or something. I'm not saying that I would just go out and drill concrete for fun, but you shouldn't be doing what I did. Okay, hold on. I gotta say something real quick. Everybody in the comments in that video was like, you need to get a hammer drill, you're not doing it right. Okay, I got it. Like, I know. I knew we didn't have a hammer drill. I didn't fully understand how effective a hammer drill is, but I wasn't about to run out and get a hammer drill to do that job. Our little multi-speed drill did the job. Did it suck? Yes, it sucked. But that's not justification to run out and spend $300. So sometimes it's good to work with what you have. But in this situation, with those big lag screws, screw it. Ain't gonna happen. I think what's like really shocking is, wouldn't you think this would be insanely loud? Yeah, it's not. It's not. Like you'd think that you'd have to put earplugs on. It's like, yeah. I think I like that because so many power tools are just obscenely loud. And I just want to make one comment about the angle grinder, why it's so important. So we spent a lot of time trying to make sure that the top of our wall is smooth and level. And I'm pretty sure it's not-ish. So at the advice of our concrete friend, I picked up a diamond cup wheel. And this happens to be the Makita version. There are other versions which are more affordable, but I thought for such a critical thing, buy once. So I spent a little extra money. I'm hoping I made the right decision. This one has like a steel insert in the cup, and the other ones didn't, which made me a little nervous. Anyway, so we're gonna be using that in combination with an angle grinder. Instead of shimming our plates, hopefully we'll be able to snap a line and knock down the high spots instead. This is something that our concrete friends have shared with us, both of them, Often it's much easier to just knock down the high spots on your walls instead of spending hours and hours and hours shimming things up. So for that reason, I'm glad we got an extra angle grinder, because that's a pretty brutal job. And if the one we have croaks, oh, I just figured out, it just dawned on me. I'm like, what is this stinking handle in this case for? It makes no sense at all. Kabow. That makes sense. Got it, Makita. Took me a little bit. Sorry, a little slow on the uptake. So they include a handle. They've got a guard that slips on there. Single speed, on and off. Not their best tool, but sweeten the deal a little bit. Well, that's it. Now we get to drill a crap ton of holes in our perfectly good foundation. This makes me really happy, because I came really close to begging our engineers to let us put J-bolts in, which I should touch on, because a lot of people are gonna scream and holler, why didn't you put J-bolts in? And the response that we got from that question from our engineers was, it's so much easier with the thickness of our plates, which are 4 inches by 14 inches, to get the plates right where you want them and then drill in and secure the plates perfectly. If you J-bolt with these plates, it can be very difficult to align the hole that the plate would go on. In most stick framing, the plate doesn't really matter. It can be off just a little bit. With the timber frame, we have so many things going on that plate. We've got the eye joists, then we have the timber frame, then we have the sit panels, etc. The plate needs to be spot on. Otherwise, things are gonna start not fitting really quickly. So that's in a nutshell why we didn't do J-bolts, and I'm excited that drilling concrete does not have to make you wanna pull your hair out. We'll maybe do a follow-up on this, I don't know, when we get all done, and we'll share maybe how bad or not bad it was. That's it!
Where's Bricky? How you doing, Bricky? Bricky is gonna go on our fireplace mantle that we're not gonna have. Wow. So you can see, Eric cut this beauty out of our wall because we messed up. No problem. But our house isn't done yet, so you're gonna go back under there. That's where you live.